Going live. And we're live. Okay, welcome everybody. Oh, now we're live. I think now we're live. All right. Welcome everybody to MumfreedomPreneurs Hangout. And we're here today. We've got Greta and Sarita, and we're going to talk today about how to turn any situation that's happening in your life and in your business into the best thing that could happen for your business. I know that may sound bizarre, but it is possible. So, and first of all, I wanted to just alert everybody that there's something very special happening. In about an hour, going live is an incredible tool system that we have to help you in your business. So you'll see there's like a big yellow button below. You click on that. When you click on it and it opens up, it's going to say something's closed, but get yourself on the list, because immediately going live at 9 a.m. Pacific, I don't know what that is in Perth. What's that midnight in Perth? and I guess that would be noon Eastern. There's something very, very exciting going on. So just letting you know that's what's going on right there, and you've got the chance to get in. You can just do that quick, and we'll keep going here with what's going on. So, ladies, I don't know if you had anything on the topic that you wanted to get into first, or if you wanted me to intro it a bit more, or what would you like to do? Greta?
Yeah, I'm happy to come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it. Okay, Sarita, here we go.
So, yeah. So what's happened? So what's the headline again? What we're doing? It's
how to turn any situation into the best thing that can happen.
So yeah. So turning the worst thing into the best thing, kind of, for your business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So what I was kind of thinking was definitely, especially with when I got started in this business, you know, I'm actually feeling, I think I'm more actually in my purpose than ever before right now. You know, I'm doing well with my business. I'm traveling. I'm, you know, have decent money coming in. You know, and I have a beautiful family and all those things. But, you know, just before I got started, it was so painful, and that's why I started looking. So if I hadn't felt the pain and you know, if I hadn't been struggling so much, I wouldn't have been looking for something. I was looking because I was so sick and tired of being in that situation. I was so sick and tired because my partner and I would fight all the time because we couldn't pay our bills. And I was just, you know, I really wanted to just enjoy my children and, you know, not worry about money all the time. So because I was in that really rough place, I just started looking, and that's why I found this. So I wouldn't have found this unless I would have been in a very uncomfortable position. And I'm so grateful now that, you know, I was in that place, because I wouldn't have now connected with you ladies and with all these other beautiful people around the world. It's only because I was in that bad, dark place that I was just like, I can't, you know, I think some people, you could go into depression, but I was lucky I didn't go into depression. I went into anger. I was like, I'm angry. I don't want to live my life this way, you know. It's not how I imagined my life to be. And I know there's a better way, and so I started looking. So I used the pain as a leverage to you know, and then, you know, I have in the beginning, especially to get the momentum going, I did have sleepless nights, not sleepless nights, but a little sleep to get the ball rolling. And even last night, I mean, many nights I sleep, you know, I get my full night's sleep, but then many nights, like, we have a launch going, and I was preparing for that, and I didn't go to bed till 4:30. But I'm quite happy to do that, because it's given me so much freedom and flexibility and excitement and purpose that, you know, I'm willing to put in the work and get a little bit, you know, not so much sleep on some nights, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So, yeah, so you know, so if you're right now in a lot of pain, or you're struggling right now, if you're watching this, I just remember, you know, that out of the worst can come the best. Like the lotus needs, isn't it, like, out of the lotus needs some, like, isn't it dog? Not dog. Cow.
Yeah, the muck of the lotus creates the beautiful flower. Yes.
That's right. Yeah, so it's transformation coming out of the, yeah. So yeah, that's my little bit of my story of the one thing. And I think if I look back, there's many things in my life where it's been where the worst turned into transformation. So I'm very much believe that everything happens for a purpose, and if you can remind yourself of that when you are in that bad place, and just keep looking for the lesson and keep looking for the good, and transform and become, actually make your life better because of it. It's a blessing. So thank you.
That's great. And getting into just even like nitty gritty, because there's a lot that there's this wonderful system, like you said, when you click the button below and you get in there, it's pretty crazy. There's a lot of very newbie systems set up to make things easy for you. But as you were setting things up, as you were doing things, and prior to even having this system, like for example, you're placing ads or you're placing a Facebook ad. Did all of your ads work out really well, or did some of them not work so well and you had to make adjustments?
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Well, get your sound.
It's a constant learning curve. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a constant learning curve with this business. I had my ads account shut down at some stage too. Like things happen, but it's about keeping going and remembering why you're doing something, and that's why you don't give up. That's why you're unstoppable. That's why it's just an obstacle to overcome. And oftentimes, I remember actually one ad that didn't get approved, and then I had to do another ad, and it took me forever. And because I'm new to it, it takes me so much longer than anyone else, obviously in the beginning. And I was just like, it took me a whole day. But then the ad was performing so much better, so it was a good thing that the ad got approved because I had to work on it. So yeah, it's just. Obviously, it's like, especially as a mum, you're so busy all the time, and then you have to deal with something. But it worked out for the benefit, and yeah, I'm just learning more and more that just to go with the flow, and when things don't go so well, just to keep going, and it's been working for me. So yeah, definitely. And yeah, with technical stuff, you can get stuck, like autoresponders and stuff, but there's always help out there for you, and it's really important to reach out, and that's a good thing too, because you connect then with others, and you learn from others. And the amount of relationships I got from people that helped me in the beginning just to get set up, If I could do it all on my own, I wouldn't have had those relationships now.
Exactly. So it's like, and you never know. Like you said, if your account hadn't been shut down, if that ad hadn't gone down, you would not have been able to adjust it. And frankly, a lot of the people that might be watching this right now, watching you right now, are because you found them. They found you because of that ad. I would probably say 99% of it. That's what happened for you. So you wouldn't even be able to have this wonderful Sarita in your life had that mistake in her business, and for her to find you online. Okay, so that's just there's on so many different levels. So Greta, do you have something you want to add to this right now? You want to hear what I've got to say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can go ahead. I love what Sarita had to say, and you jumping in and out there. It just really makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure it makes a lot of sense for you watching too. One of the things that I know, because there's ups and downs in whether you're in business, whether it's your personal life, it just happens. It is what it is. That's life. That's the way the universe works. I don't really know why. I can't explain why, but one of the quotes that always sticks in my mind is, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So you know that quote, right, Valerie and Sarita?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember who says that quote, but that always kind of helps me. Especially, it always seems to kind of come into my mind when when things are hard, when things are difficult. And then I just remind myself, oh yeah, no, it's coming. It's coming. Something good is coming right now, you know? And I can relate that back to so many different experiences that I've had in my life. And I really see that. And I actually started to see that a lot very early on in my life. You know, because of difficult things that I'd been through in my life, particularly losing my father to suicide, I really, throughout those years of grieving, and maybe you've lost somebody in your life too, it's the grieving process is a process in itself, and there's ups and downs. And I was 12 years old, so I had, you know, it was a very vulnerable time in my life as a young girl, and there was many different stages that I went through, and I really tried constantly to figure out what was, like, put the pieces together and figure out why. You know, I always questioned why, and I have my little one coming in with me right now, so you know, and that's the thing I really started to realize. You know, I could have just focused on all the negatives and what was so hard, and the loss that I had, instead of focusing on, you know, the good things that came out of it. You know, because as hard as it is to think about there being anything good that could come out of that, there were good things that came out of that. And for you too, watching, you know, maybe, like as I said, maybe you've lost somebody, and it's difficult. It's fresh. It's hard to look at it that way. But it's just about changing perspectives, and then you can take that, you know, into your business, because there are times, I mean, the most successful people in business, they have been through such trying times. I mean, people give up, they come back, they, you know, they fail again and fail over and over and over again. And that's, I mean, that's how we learn. That's how our stories are created. That's how we connect to others. That's why you resonate with other people's stories and resonate with other leaders and other successful people, is because they're real and they have a story. They have these experiences, and it's just kind of, I guess, realizing that when you're going through those challenges in your business, realizing that there is a turnaround, to just keep going. And it's plugging into communities of people, like-minded people like that have those same beliefs, that are willing to do whatever it takes, that understand, that really get what you're doing. They get it. Like, if you're surrounding yourself, like if you think about it right now, and if you're surrounding yourself, the main core that you're surrounding yourself with of people are just don't get what you're doing, they're very negative about it, how do you think how do you think you're gonna move forward? You need to, yes, that's nice. You need to connect yourself into a community who gets it, who believes in you, who understands the trials and tribulations, the challenges that you're going to come up with in your business, and they will be there to push you through those times. So yeah, and another quote that comes up for me a lot is, everything is as it should be. So again, when I'm going through those challenging times, and when you're facing those challenging times, there's words that you can imprint in your brain that will automatically come up every time you're faced with a different and new challenge. And think of it like that. Don't think of them as problems. Think of them as challenges, because, I mean, if you're like me and like these other women, we like challenges. So definitely put those in your brain and stick with those. And I could go on. I know Valerie is just like itching to jump out and share. So I'm excited to hear what she has to share.
Yeah, thank you, Greta. And the thing is, I mean, I know from that horrific thing that happened in your life, I mean, just for me personally, who you are as a person and your compassion and your ability to inspire people, that even from something as dark as that, what is possible, that right there's something very powerful. You know, there's a lot of things. I went through, it was my birthday on Friday, and I went through, you know, looking at my life, a very big sort of assessment, as I'm sure many of you do when it comes to your birthday. Always, it's like that in New Year's, right? I was looking at my life, and I'd been going through this process of wondering and searching recently about, you know, and this is going to get a little esoteric on you here, but it does apply to business, and it was a very powerful shift that happened that I want to share with this, and it was a combination of things, and that is that because, you know, we're here in this world, and there's all kinds of, you know, there's two options of how you know, there's several options of how, two options really of how we can look at the world. There's the world, and there's all this stuff that's going on around us, right? And we have a choice. We can just be a knee-jerk reaction to circumstances around us, but we also have the capacity to actually step back from our circumstances and look at them in a different way. We actually have that ability to not, you know, you must have heard this to say, you are not your circumstances. You know, what has happened in the past is not a reflection of what's going to happen in the future. What's happening now does not determine your future. And, you know, like I said, I'm saying things through. I've been having success and everything else, but, you know, things happen and things crop up, and there's been some powerful things in the past that have happened to me too. You know, I haven't had my Facebook shut down, but I have had a YouTube channel with over 100 videos shut down, as of many other entrepreneurs. But and some very powerful things in my life, some very painful things in my life as well. And so I was questioning why. Why do we have this? You know, why would the world be created with this separateness, with this craziness, so that we would forget, you know, who we really are? And I actually have access to Michael Bernard Beckwith from The Secret here in Los Angeles. And last week I saw him in person. I saw him and I asked him this question. I asked him this in person. I asked him this very question. I said, why? Why is there this separateness? Why? Why would it be there? Why not? Let's just live in this place of abundance and joy, and just, you know, why have it? And he said, well, the reason is so that there can be contrast, so that, you know, whether you want to call it God, the essence of the universe, has the ability to really express in life, to really expand and experience, and that's why these things are there. And sometimes there things happen in our life, and they're there as part of the process to get us to where we need to be. And I'm going to give the example. I'm sure you've heard of these, but I'm going to give them again. There's the example of, you know, the rocket ship, and as it's headed to the moon, I mean, there are thousands of adjustments that it can make. Or even a better example, you think of a boat, and there's a rudder on a boat, right? Well, for the boat to go somewhere, right, the rudder moves and sends its direction, but the boat has to be in motion, right? The boat has to be in motion for there to be adjustments, but there's always going to be adjustments. It's not necessarily a straight line. The rocket, it's constantly, it's most of the time it's off course, but it keeps moving, right? And same thing with the boat. You're just slight minor adjustments, right, that's being made for steering that boat to get it to where it's going. And when we set ourselves in, you know, an intention and a vision and intention, we talked about vision in another Hangouts, and we're moving forward, right? Sometimes there needs to be an adjustment, like for Sarita. I mean, it's just focusing on business here. You know, her account was shut down. She ended up having to create something else, and she had an ad that wasn't accepted, right? Because of the adjustments that she had to make certain into her business now, right, that are wonderful people for her business because of this adjustment she was able to make because this happened, right? And she could have said, oh, this doesn't work, right? But she didn't. Same thing with me. I could say, oh, this doesn't work. But it's about taking a look at the situation and seeing underneath it and understanding that everything is moving in your favor. And sometimes when things happen, there's a couple of things. It could be just you just need to make an adjustment, right? And when you ask yourself, what is it that what can I do? What's the adjustment? Allow yourself to open up to that. Sometimes, and if it's a very big, powerful thing, it could be simply really to take a look within and to realize the reality of who you really are. That who you really are is this essence of abundance, this essence of wisdom and creativity and joy, and that's who you really are. And to tap into that and to feel that and allow that, and then from that space, open up to ideas. I was listening to something that someone by the name of Kiala, who's a very, very powerful marketer in our business, and he was talking about, you know, he comes from a place of love and gratitude of whatever's going on in the moment at all times, and that actually opens up to absolute wisdom and creativity in communication and in everything that you do. When you're in that space, when you remember who you are. And sometimes these things are almost just little reminders just to say, remember, let's go back to the core of who you are. Open yourself up to your own creativity, to your own abundance, to your own wisdom, and incredible, powerful things. I'll give another example. I mean, this is in science. I mean, Edison, he had this vision, and it was electricity. And he just kept going at it and going at it and going at it, and all making these slight adjustments until he finally came up with the solution to have it work, to have that light bulb work. And it's having a very different perspective to when things happen. It's just saying, even if in the moment you go, I don't know what it is, I know I'm headed in the right direction, I don't know what it is, but just opening yourself up to that space inside of you of just separating from the situation, tapping into knowing absolutely and inherently that you're connected to it like everybody else, really connected to this absolute wisdom, absolute creativity, absolute abundance, absolute joy. I mean, it could even be something very powerful to someone in your business that leaves. It happens, right? It could be that there's somebody else opening up the space to come in. And you may not know all the bits and pieces to the puzzle of why something is happening, but this much I have learned and this much I know is that when I trust in that space there and allowing it, saying, okay, just remembering, really feeling who you are, trusting who you are. Right, and some people, like I have a suspicion Sarita just does this because you do so much positive intention work that you just go there. You automatically know and just trust in yourself, right? And for other people, maybe they need to build it up a little bit. But it's just it's like a muscle, exercising it. And you go back in there and then allow the wisdom, allow yourself to come up with ideas. And maybe the first one will fix part of it, and then the next you just keep like going like this. But you're still moving forward, and life is like that. It's a series of adjustments as your rocket ship takes off to the moon, right? And it's really having that powerful perspective of, I don't know how, I don't know why, but everything is to my good, everything is working in my favor, and just open up to the next inspired action that's right in front of you to take action on. And I will say this, if you're watching this right now, there is that button below. There's a timing thing. There's something going on right now, and you have an incredible opportunity to click on that. And when you get into it, you'll notice you'll probably receive it in an email, but there'll be a very powerful system that can help you to really move a lot of things forward in your business. So, I don't know if that, ladies, if you have any comments or any thoughts? Anything to add on? What I said make sense?
It totally makes sense, Valerie. I love your stories, and you know, it just completely makes sense. I mean, that's just the way life goes, and it just, you know, it really paints a good picture of what it is to just move forward, to get in any part of your life, and figuring out like where you're heading with your goals, and how you get there. I mean, when you really think about it, was it, you know, like if you can think about a goal that you made in the past, and what it took, a goal that you were able to achieve, you know, think about what it took to get there, really. I mean, take a minute to think about what it took to reach that goal. Did you just straight, everything was perfect, everything lined up, you just went, you know, you set your goal and you just got there perfectly? Probably not, right?
I just thought of something as a mommy. I just thought of like a mommy analogy. I mean, look at our kids and watching them learn how to walk. How many times did they fall on their little bottoms? You know what I'm saying? It's like if they gave up and said, oh, I fell on my bottom, I'm just not going to get back up again. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, watch our little ones. You know, we can learn so much in our business just by watching them learning how to do something as simple as like walking or anything. You know, I mean, it's like they just keep going, and you know, a little wobbly at first, right? You know, and then they start to get their balance, and you know, and then they get going, and then whammo, they fall down, but they get back up again. You know, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, my son, he had a massive fall last week. He went climbing up on something, and he really hurt himself. But he went straight up and climbed up again, and I was amazed because I was like, wow, he just really hurt himself, and he just was straight climbing up again. And yeah, that's when you see that in children, it's the innate wanting to keep going. And you know, one of the things that I've encountered a lot, when I really want something, the universe likes to test me, and I sometimes find that that it's like the universe is testing me when there's obstacles coming in my way, just asking me how much do I really want this. And yeah, I found every time there was something that was really important to me that I wanted to achieve, the universe comes in and says, do you really want it that bad? You got to do some work for it, right? You know, or you just written something, sometimes like that, even like, you know, especially when we write blogs and stuff in our business, and you've written something and you didn't save it quickly enough or whatever, and suddenly the whole blog's gone, or you have to rewrite something. You know, I had it lately on Facebook happening. Actually, I've been writing messages, and suddenly the whole messages disappeared, and who knows where it's gone, but I had to rewrite it all. And, you know, like, it's just there's this constant little things that happen, but it's that how much do you really want it, and then when you rewrite it, it's possibly better, you know, and oftentimes it is better. So, you know, like you say, Valerie, just trusting the process. And another thing that sticks in my mind when you were saying the quotes, Greta, is when I'm in a place that's not that great, there's this quote. It's just saying this too shall pass. You know, everything passes. You know, it's not going to stay this way. And it's going to get better. You know, if you really feel rock bottom, it can only go up. And, you know, we are emotional beings. We are, you know, we're very complex beings, human beings, and we've all got our stories. And, you know, I think just being, you know, self-love is very important, to love yourself and to just allow yourself to go through something, and it's okay, and not to be so hard on yourself. I think many people just judge themselves very harshly, and that could stop you, you know, just by all the self-judgment when you don't achieve something right now, or, you know, you're getting impatient or things are not happening. If you allow that self-criticism get you, you know, that could like totally destroy your creativity in that moment, you know, like when you could get really blocked just by you criticizing yourself. So the more you learn just to be, to accept what is, but just keep going, then you're going to allow that beautiful energy come back in your body. But if you are judging yourself, you know, that could really stop everything. So I think it's really important to just, you know, that's why it's so good when you when you get older and you get wiser, because, you know, things have happened and you learn that those bad things actually created beautiful things in your life. So then you can, when things happen that are not going your way, or you're not in a good place, you can think like, oh, well, everything in the past had actually taught me something, so this is obviously teaching me something right now. And you're learning this because you have that experience now. But, you know, when you were 13, 14, I remember I went through a really hard time, and I was, you know, my teenagers, and because everything seemed like the end of the world, and you didn't know how to get through it. But now, you know, you actually learn something from this, and everything, you know, makes sense. And I think that's the beauty of, you know, getting older, and also the beauty about sharing, like, with others, and reading books and listening to audios and all those things, because sometimes you don't even have to go through everything, because you can learn from other people's stories. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, just knowing that life is on your side. I mean, I went through some. For those of you that don't know my story, I mean, I went through every possible kind of abuse, from bullying and family and men breaking bones, and, you know, you name it, it's happened. Raped. I mean, all of it. I've had so many crazy things happen in my life, and you know, not to say that any of that is ever okay, because it's not okay to ever treat somebody that way. But I strongly feel that each time it was for me to go and choose and to realize my own value, and that I am not my circumstances. It's kind of like these weird things are out. This stuff happens out there, and for me to stop, because I would recreate over and over and over again. I would keep placing myself in situations where, yet again, there was some other form of abuse happening. And it could, you know, it was even in my jobs, bosses. Some of you that may have a boss right now that's like, you know, I mean, I went through so many like that. And, you know, all the relationships, at a certain point, you take a look at all the relationships, there's a common denominator. And for me, for a long time, I thought, well, the common denominator means there's something inherently wrong with me, and that's why all these horrible things keep happening to me, right? I mean, I really went there. And until I learned a completely different viewpoint, which is that the only reason it's there is for me to separate from it and to see who I really am. And for you watching this, to separate from it and to see who you really are. And who you really are, the essence of all of us, is and it's a feeling, and you can get there with meditation. There's lots of different ways to get there, but of feeling, you know, that you are love. You're inherently love, and your beauty and your joy and your creativity. The essence of who you are is this wonderful being, and all this other stuff is it's like, that's kind of like that's the contrast world that we're in. We learn to separate from it, and then we can inspire others, and we can create so much more beauty because we've learned how to separate from it, and to not be, to basically, instead of being reacting to the world, we're the one that's bringing it. We're the one that's bringing that creativity. We're bringing the love. We're bringing the joy. We're bringing the beauty. We're bringing the hope. We're bringing the wisdom. We're the ones saying, you can have the life of your dreams. You can live and be with your kids and travel and be with your family and be there for all those precious moments. You can be love and joy and beauty in everybody's life. You can bring it instead of being in reaction to it, right? You can just separate from what's going on and just find that other place. And for me, one of the most powerful things was one time, I mean, this is going to sound pretty intense, but my shoulder was broken because a guy had broken it because he'd attacked me. And that was how that relationship ended. And I was sitting there, you know, in kind of like a body brace thing. And I remember I'd been doing a lot of meditation at the time. There's nothing else I could do. I could either, like, you know, sit there and go into woe is me, or go into meditation that I had at the time. And something snapped inside where all of a sudden I just felt this joy. And it was completely separate You know, it was completely separate from anything. It made no sense because here I was, you know, physical, lot of pain, and you know, my work, my job was affected by it because I wasn't there, and my relationship was toast. Forget that. And you know, just this inherent joy that bubbled up from inside of me, a place that was completely separate from what was going on around me, and from there I built my life forward. And in it's like you don't know what the situation is in front of you that's going to create, and it could be something as profound as that in your life, or it could be something as simple but still devastating in a business, to have an account shut down, or to lose, you know, over 100 videos that you put your life and soul into. And I realized when that happened to me, it was like, wow, I'm in a different place as a person right now. My videos are going to have much more power. This is so much better. If people are going to be connecting with me now, this is the message. This is the person. This is. I have a different mission. I have a different space. I have a different ability to help people because of what's happening in my life and in my business right now. And you just, it's trusting that life is on your side, that the universe is on your side, literally is on your side, and anything else, any theory, any thought other than that is frankly not true. It's just not true. The universe is on your side, and the moment you connect into that and then allow that space and just live from that space, all the opportunities and thoughts and possibilities, like a different, like, you know, I keep going back to the example because it's a solid example of Sarita with her ad, that it's like she got something bubble up within her. She says, well, maybe I could just change the words, I could change this, I could change that. And the ideas came up. She allowed herself to allow that to happen. And just literally seeing the world. And I mean, for me, when I got this on my birthday, when this all connected, I realized that everything that has ever good happened in my life came from having this transition of perspective in the moment. Everything. Starting my business, doing, I mean, everything, every positive choice and everything negative that ever happened in my life was like this opportunity into myself so that I can move and into a much more powerful, happy place inside of myself. And then the other piece of it is just the universe itself. Literally, if you want to get into the law of attraction, when you're in that vibration, you attract ideas, you attract opportunities, but you literally attract, manifest things that will come to you. You will attract better people into your life. You will attract better customers. You will attract, you know, the resources that you need. All of a sudden you find out about this tool, you find out about this system, you find out about something else, another idea, something, all this stuff, it all starts coming to you because you're in the place of literally in the right space to attract it. You're attracting it, and then you can take action. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is like, that's like my big massive revolution. Few days of putting the pieces together of my entire life. But,
yeah, I totally agree with you. Actually, there's one exercise that I did years ago in a workshop, but it was very powerful, and it's about if you have something that's really bad that happened in your life and you can't get over it and you're obsessing, you know, many people obsess about an event that's happened, and we had to write down the things that we weren't at peace with and that were blocking our life. Because if you're obsessed with something from the past, you're blocking the abundance, you're blocking the love pretty much, and you know, can't move forward. So it was like writing down everything that you could think of that event actually brought you that was positive. And they were like women who had been abused and raped and whatever, like really full-on stories. But you know, and you would find it really hard, you know, like finding the good in that. But you know, and the more they actually were, you know, thinking about what actually was the good thing that came out of these bad things, then there was this huge shift, and you know, crying and everything. But in the end, they were at peace because they actually could see that this even happened for a reason, and I mean, I'm lucky this has never happened to me, but it's just beautiful when you see people transform in front of you because they realize that even the thing that I thought that was the worst thing and why them or why, that it was actually for their benefit. Even it's hard to grasp even saying it, but if you really look, and you really write down, if you have something that you can't get over, start writing down what this event brought you. Who, if your dad didn't love you, who loved you instead? Who was there instead, For example, there's always, start looking for what was actually there, and because they say, when one person is not in your life, another person comes in. But often we're so fixated on that one person that we, for example, want love from, but we're surrounded by love from others. And I think that's very powerful. If you really just open your eyes, and if something is not working in your life and you think it's not working, start really looking what's actually working for you right now, and really, also look at maybe the things that you still maybe haven't gotten over in your life, because that could be affecting your life right now, and look at those events and see what has that given me. If you maybe had some drama in your family or whatever. Like I had some dramas with my partner's family a few years ago, and we that was really hard for me because I don't have family here in Australia, and but now I know that it's actually strengthened me, and it made my family with my partner and my kids stronger, and everything happens for a reason, and even the things that when so many people are possibly suffering, or you are suffering, and you think, why is this happening? When you, in a couple of years' time, you look back, and if you really are honest with yourself, it most likely has benefited you. Like it has. Every time I look in my life at everything that has happened to me, I can only see that it's benefited me. So just that's a really, really amazing exercise. So I just highly recommend you write down maybe something that you haven't gotten over, and keep writing all the things that are actually, positive that came from that.
I love that.
And you might have a huge
yeah.
Yeah.
That's really powerful. Really, really powerful. I'm sure that you watching right now, something probably popped into your mind as you were listening to it, especially when you shared a little bit more about it and then said it again and again. It really helps to kind of jog your memory and make you really think about, okay, what are those things? What are those things that could be holding me back in my life? Could be sort of causing barriers or walls from, allowing the flow and the energy to come through, to flow through you, and again, I mean, listening to both of you, so powerful. Thank you so much. I just love being here every week and learning from these ladies, as I'm sure you do too. And it just takes me back again to the power of community. Being plugged in to a community that, that just has this incredible mindset. My mind has changed so much. Like if you catch yourself, in a negative space a lot, or constantly, and you're constantly fighting it, you're struggling to, you want more positivity in your life, but you just find that fight again. Like, go back and do that exercise that Sarita was talking about, because I believe that a lot of that might be, giving you that negativity that you're trying to transfer over and change into more positive energy. And that's the thing, is that energy is so powerful, whether it is anger or frustration or sadness or happiness or joy or bliss, like all those things. It's so powerful, and you really truly can transfer it into anything that you want. You can, if you have a lot of rage or anger in yourself and you're struggling with that. I had that before in my past. I just had so much anger inside, and from experiences that I had in my life. And then, for instance, I was in an abusive relationship for 5 years or so, and I'm getting I'm getting beeps on my phone, so I'm getting distracted. Sorry. So I was in an abusive relationship for a long time, and I just, things spiraled and just kept getting worse and worse and worse, to the point where I was suffering from agoraphobia. I could not leave my room. And that's when I realized I need to pick up the phone and I need to ask for help now. Because I can't live like this anymore. I choose life, so I need to do something right now to change the situation. So that's what I did. Picked up the phone, called my sister. She came and got me. And it was with that decision that came action. Things started to flow. Things started to come. Opportunities started to come my way. And it happened very, very quickly. It was truly powerful. Making a decision like that to end something that's not working, and it opens up, it just allows things, opportunities to flow through you. So, whether you're experiencing something like that, whether you're in a relationship right now that's not working, and it's just you're at the end, know that there's always help out there for you, and that tapping in to a community of people like this, like we're in right now, hearing these stories, hearing what Valerie went through, what Sarita went through, the stories that she heard when she went through that exercise from those women. It's here. This is proof. Valerie right now is proof to you that you can move forward in your life, that you can change those negative thoughts into positive ones, and that you will start to realize when you walk outside into the world that you may be a little bit different than everybody else, that there is a lot of negativity out there, but that doesn't mean that you need to have and carry that negativity within yourself, that you can change that, and you can start to surround yourself and attract more people with positive thoughts and feelings, and it will create that abundance and that flow of abundance and joy and happiness and bliss that I know that you want in your life, right? I mean, it makes sense, right? Like if you surround yourself with negative people, what are you gonna get? Negativity, right? If you surround yourself with positive people, what are you gonna get? Positivity, positive things, like attract like, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and bringing it back full circle to what Sarita was talking about at the beginning is, it's like, with your situation, what was happening to you, and you got angry, and you made a decision. And Greta said you made a decision. You just decided, you said that this is it. You used it as a springboard to creating the life that you have now. That there'd be no way you would have had those other things not happened, right?
Oh yeah, it's so anger is so powerful. It's amazing.
but anger is just, it's making that decision. And it's like, taking a look at whatever's going on in your life. If you're here, make a decision. To make a difference in your life, make a difference in your business, and whatever is going on, to just take a look at it and go, okay, that the real reality is not what's physically presenting to me right now. Going back to what is it that you want? What is it? What are your dreams? Realizing, just going into your heart and choosing to live, knowing that you are abundance, you are love, you are peace, and you choose, say, I'm living in that space right now. I'm not. It's like it's a choice to say, am I going to go into fear and doubt and worry and complain, or am I going to say, no, I'm backing up, and I'm going to find a solution. I'm going to find a solution because I am all these other things, and then opening yourself up and making a decision. So we're getting close to the top of the hour, and Sarita, if you have anything else to say, recommending to you right now, there's that link. If you haven't done it already, click it, and when you click on it on the other side right now, for about the next 5 minutes, it's going to say closed. You can put your email in. It's going to say closed, but when you get into the other side of it, there's going to be something else that's going to pop up. There'll be some a wonderful system with a community that you can connect with, and the system that we're using, and actually a new and a very powerful one that we've been able to be sneakily on the inside of. It's going to be released to the public in about 5 minutes. Which is kind of cool. So we will see you on the other side of that. And if you're watching this after the fact, we'll make sure that there's a link that you can just access it directly. But it is releasing to the public literally in 5 minutes. So, ladies, anything else?
I could be going on forever, but I think, yeah, this was beautiful. This was a great session. I think that one last thing maybe I'd like to say is it comes down to also really learning to love yourself and accept yourself, and putting yourself first. I think especially as mums, we often put ourselves last. But if you don't put yourself first, how can you look after anyone else? So it's really important that you make time for yourself and look after number one, which is you in the end, and then from that you can then I think maybe even in the past or maybe in my family, and that it was the conditioning of the martyra, being the martyra as a mother, giving up your life for your children pretty much, and I never was very inspired by that. I feel like I wanted my mum to go out, and I wanted my mum to meet friends, but my mum did just everything for me, and but that taught me in the end to want to be different. So that part of my childhood, I love my mum to bits. But she showed me the way I didn't want to be, so that's what I learned. I didn't want to. I wanted a life, and I wanted to create things and have more other things in my life than just being completely, pretty much like a servant to my children. And I think loving yourself is really, really important, and be your own hero, and stop being, being a victim, because I think many people like to be. They don't know how to get out of that victim mentality, and it's also an addiction, I think, to talk about everything that has happened to you that was bad, and you can keep going and pointing the finger and whose fault it was, and that's why your life is the way it is, and it's just like you're giving your power away. The only way to move forward and create the life of your dreams and the life that you can have right now is by owning that you're responsible right now. You can choose to leave if it's a bad relationship, or you can choose to make different choices. But if you keep blaming one person for your misfortune, you're never going to have an amazing life, because you're giving your power away. So that's my last bit I wanted to say, because it really frustrates me when I see people do that. Because I know that they can have everything they want, and it's, it's sad to see when people blame others for their misfortune. So
because they don't see their own beauty within. They don't see their own love within. And that's where having the ability, meditations, all that other different stuff, listening to audios, really being able to become aware of who you really are in the moment, and just it's a conscious decision to decide, no matter what's going on the outside, I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. It's like a constant prayer to yourself. I'm living in love. That's who I am. That's where I'm living. That's my space. I'm living in abundance, and the universe is on my side. And it really doesn't matter what's in front of me, because it could be part of a wacky process to get for exactly what I need to manifest. Period. End of sentence. You don't know, right? So the better thing to do is you might as well believe in the good, right? So I love that. I love that, Sarita. You're so you can just feel the energy coming out of you. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. And that's it. We're getting to the top of the hour, and in 1 minute, everything goes live. So click the button. We'll see you on the other side, and we'll see you next week, same time, same Mommy Bat channel. Sorry.
Thanks for watching.
I know. All right.